2 years ago, I completed Monster Hunter Rise without using a weapon. So when I saw Wilds also had infinite kunai knives, I knew what I had to do. In case you need a refresher on what a no weapon run is, pretty much you cannot hit the monsters with any of the 14 weapons in the game. However, outside damage like slinger, environmental damage, and monster damage is fine. If somehow I manage to hit the monster with my weapon, I have to abandon the quest and restart. I added an additional rule that I cannot capture any monsters unless it is a capture only quest. So yeah, that's a no weapon run. It's simple, however extremely excruciating. This was all streamed live on my Twitch channel. Go follow it to watch my Monster Hunter Wilds challenge runs live. Since this run requires throwing a lot of knives at large creatures, the Forbidden Lands research team called in the only chap who can do it after hearing his feats in Kimura. No worries, Beans is also here, and Toast kind of still doesn't really look like a dog. My main source of damage in this run is kunai knives or throwing knives, as you have an infinite amount of them. Well, now that we have that out of the way, it is time to hunt a Chadacabra, who was the first wall of the run. You actually don't get infinite kunai knives until after the second quest of the game. I ran around trying to find slinger ammo, and I did. However, after I fired off all the slinger ammo in the area you fight Chadacabra in, I tried to leave it to find more. However, you can't leave the zone and are forced to turn around. I felt defeated. Maybe Monster Hunter Wilds can't be beaten without a weapon. Until this happened. Slinger do damage? This? Oh my god, you're a genius. This might take long. That's right, you can deal damage with the grapple. Sure, it deals a whopping 1 damage, but at least it's a source of infinite damage. After he ran out of his zone, I was able to make boulders fall on him, and shoot some other slinger ammo at him. Even after all of that, I still had to grapple him a million times until he eventually met his end. After killing Chadacabra, I still couldn't get my precious knives, but instead had to kill 7 mosquitoes, which took about 5 minutes to do. With the mosquitoes gone, I was finally able to get my hands on throwing knives. I took my knives and headed out to hunt an oversized chicken. This is a good time to talk about how kunai knives actually got a nerf in Wilds compared to Rise. In Rise, there was a dango skill that you can eat for called Hurler that increases kunai damage. However, that skill doesn't exist in Wilds. In Rise, kunai with Hurler deal 2 to 8 damage. In Wilds, kunai deal 1 to 5 damage. That might not seem like much, but it definitely adds up. But if I'm going to be honest, that's not even the worst nerf. That would be kunai are thrown way slower in this game because in Wilds you shoot them through your slinger. So after every kunai you have to reload your slinger with another one. In Rise you throw 4 kunai per second, and in Wilds you throw 1 kunai per second. At least I can use other types of slinger ammo, however once I am out of other types of slinger ammo it is painful to say the least. After throwing a million kunai and a Doshaguma intervention, I was able to take down the chicken in only 25 minutes. Before I head into the forest, I thought it would be a good idea to make Beans' Chemistry's gear, since my Palico damage is more important than mine. With Beans looking stylish, we headed into the Scarlet Forest where NPCs talked for an entire 7 minutes. Sometimes you don't know how good you have it until it's gone. Anyways, would you look at that big spider? I didn't do anything different to Lalabarina than I did with Chemistries. I shot a variety of slinger ammo at it, a lot of kunai, and a Doshaguma. With Lala dead, I was able to freely roam the Scarlet Forest, aka the best place to farm for consumables. I also bought small barrel bombs since I have Zenny to spend now. I decided not to craft some useful things for this next monster, as I thought I could take out Kongalala with only slinger, kunai, and small barrel bombs. And I was right, after 30 minutes the stinky monkey died. So what exactly was that useful stuff I was talking about? With a lot of different mushrooms and bugs, I was able to craft poison smoke bombs and luring pods. Our poison smoke bomb test subject was none other than Balahara. Poison smoke bombs do 10 tick damage for about 15 seconds. So yeah, they are super useful. One not super useful thing I found out during this hunt is that in low rank assignments, main targets don't get affected by luring pods, which is not great. Luring pods are still an amazing item in this run, as I can lure other monsters to my target, but it would have been nice if I could bring the main monster to environmental damage like boulders. With a great new damage option and a not so great new discovery, Balahara was slain in 36 minutes. Alright, it's time to hunt the Fierce Alpha Doshaguma. This quest perfectly shows how broken luring pods are, or rather how overpowered Raid Dao is. If I had to guess, because I don't feel like counting the damage, he probably did about 2,000 damage. After Doshiguma was smited with the power of Zeus, he went down in 24 minutes, which is our fastest hunt so far. I headed back to base camp and crafted a mix of Doshiguma and Balahara armor. I am definitely not grinding monsters for materials, so I just craft random armor pieces I can based off defense, because there really aren't many skills that could help me out anyways. Now it's time for the first apex, Uthduna. With the power of Lala Barina and Olivia, Uthduna was one of the easiest monsters of the run. It only took me 16 minutes to kill this fish. Shortly after arriving in Azuz, I hunted a Rompopolo, and then immediately left to hunt the next apex, Raydao. He was the complete opposite of Uthduna. Raydao likes to fly a lot, which is not a good thing for me. It took me 39 minutes to hunt him, making this by far the longest hunt. With Raydao gone, our crew headed to the Ice Shard Cliffs, where I stabbed a Nursilla to death in order to save Rove. Then a Hirabami also endangered Rove, so I also had to extinguish it. Now that my goat Rove was safe, I headed back to the Oyawell Basin to hunt in an Ajarikon. At least in the basin, I have the Ancient Forge, which deals a ton of damage. After fighting Ajarikon for 15 minutes, Olivia joined the quest and made it a lot easier. After the monkey was slain, I had to hunt a new Udra. The octopus carded me once and took a grueling 45 minutes to hunt. With 3 out of the 4 apexes down, our lad headed to Wyveria, but before he could enter, he had to hunt a Guardian Doshiguma. Guardians are actually the easiest monsters to hunt in this challenge. You see, when Guardians attack, sometimes they create things I like to call milk crystals. If you shoot one of these milk crystals with elemental slinger ammo, they explode and do massive damage. The damage is different depending on the element used. Elemental resistances still is a factor, however the best overall element to use on milk crystals is definitely ice, as it just does a ton of damage in general. However, after Guardians create a certain amount of milk crystals, they stop until they absorb more milk. Even without milk crystals, Wyveria is the best map for this run as there is a ton of slinger ammo. Anyways, Guardian Doshiguma died after I exploded milk all over it. Just as our crew was about to reach the inside of Wyveria, Guardian Rathalos appeared, but no worries because I have the power of milk on my side. 30 minutes later and Guardian Rathalos got milked. Our crew finally made it inside Wyveria, and as they were learning about wyvern milk, Guardian Arkveld tried to stop us. I guess he wanted the milk all for himself. After 16 minutes, Arkveld ran away. In search of more answers to the milk, we headed to Suja, but before we could go there, I had to repel Jin Dahad. Luckily, I had Olivia to carry me. Honestly, the first phase is the worst part as I have nothing other than slinger ammo to deal with him. But in the second phase, it isn't that bad as I have Hirabami and boulders to drop on him. After a bit, I finally made it to phase 3, which is the best phase, because there are so many environmentals to drop on Jin. Now you might be asking yourself, how do I survive Jin Supernova if I have to use all the boulders for damage? And the simple answer is run. I have no clue why you should be able to fast travel during his nuke, but I'll take it I guess. It didn't take too long for Jin to fall after dropping all those boulders on its head. After Jin got squished, our crew finally made it to Suja, where we found out the truth about wyvern milk, and that is it's 2% milk. Now that we know what wyvern milk is made of, it's time to hunt Ebony Odogaron, who I also exploded milk on. This is by far the stupidest script I have ever written, and the fact that it's only slightly a joke is kind of crazy. Where was I? Oh yeah, another octopus showed up to eat the milk-covered Odogaron. Another reason why Wyveria is a great area for this run is because Wormsbane are pretty much environmental barrel bombs. There is also one zone in Wyveria that Porky Plums infinitely spawn out of a cave like a clown car. This is really good because Porky Plums give me bleeding pods. So basically I had an infinite amount of them as long as I was in zone 8. After shooting 53,000 bleeding pods, Shay Wu fell. With Shay Wu gone, Guardian Arkveld tried to stop me once and for all. Since this was a Guardian, I gained the power of milk back. I never thought I would say Big Milk as a call out in Monster Hunter, but here we are.
Oh, this is Big Milk. Big Milk.
A couple of Big Milks later, and Guardian Arkveld was slain. It's time to finish low rank and slay Zoshia, aka the Milk Dragon. If you think Zoshia would be really hard without a weapon, think again as it creates a ton of milk crystals, and you have a lot of elemental ammo to shoot at them. Not to mention the explosions caused by Zoshia's milk crystals deal more damage than normal Guardian milk crystals. This arena also has 2 boulders that you can drop on Zoshia for easy free damage. With one last milk explosion, I was able to kill Zoshia in only 23 minutes. Alright, on to high rank. The only logical thing to hunt right after I killed something that destroyed an entire civilization and is 3 gods mixed into one is a chicken. Yankaku is the only monster I am allowed to capture, as you fail the quest if you kill it. Good news though, in high rank, kunai deal more damage. Instead of 1 to 5 damage, they deal 1 to 9 damage now. Unfortunately, I don't shoot them any faster. Honestly, Kaku wasn't that bad, it only took me 20 minutes to capture it. Oh no, would you look at that, it's a frenzy monster. Too bad they have like 3 HP in this game and it only took me 19 minutes to kill it. Anyways, onto real threatening monsters like Guardian Fulgur Anjanath and Tempered Lala Barina. Lucky for me, Olivia accompanies you in this quest. Also, Fulgur is a guardian, and you know what that means. That's right, milk. A lot of milk. I swear this is the last time I will talk about milk in this video, as this is the last guardian I have to stab. It only took me 30 minutes to take down both monsters, but that's all thanks to Olivia. Sadly, we have to say goodbye to her, as this is the last quest she does with you. Now I have to explain about a very cool and awesome glitch that happened to me during this run. Apparently, you can just get soft locked when you reach HR 40, and no objectives will appear, and it will just keep telling you to raise your HR. I was told doing a side quest fixes it, or joining an SOS flare fixes it. So I did the Rove side quest, of course, because I have to help out my king. But unfortunately, that did not work. So I joined SOS flares, a lot of them. No worries though, I still didn't use my weapon. I am so sorry if a hunter by the name of UK Citizen joined your hunt and did nothing but throw knives at the monsters. After doing SOS quests for about 2 hours straight, nothing happened. I even joined an SOS of the previous assignment I did, which apparently works, and that still didn't fix it. However, there was one option, my last resort. You see, right after I beat Yankaku, I backed up my save file. So I deleted my current save and put that one back in, setting me all the way back to HR 9. I grinded all the way back to HR 34 and was able to finally do possibly the scariest quest in this run. It's time for high rank Jin Dahad, who has by far the most HP in the story with a total of 26,000 HP. Now I did pretty much the same thing I did in low rank, except after every phase transition I traveled back to camp to restock on more bombs. I still fast traveled when he novas, as I have to save the boulders for damage. I also restock on my supplies during this time as well. With a minute and 40 seconds left, I was able to slay Jin Dahad by giving him 300 concussions. Time for the other 3 apexes. Raid Dao and Nuudra pretty much went the exact same as in low rank, however I didn't have Olivia for Uthduna, so my solution for that was to bully it with a million sleep toads and paratoads. After 44 minutes, Uthduna exploded. With the 4 apexes down, I got lucky and got 3 bomber decorations, which increases barrel bomb damage by 30%. Alright, time for the one and only Gore Magala. This quest wasn't bad at all since I have Fabius with me. I didn't even need to use much of my items since he bullies Gore. Like, my god, he breaks wounds so fast. With Gore now deceased by Fabius, it was time to hunt Frenzied Blanganga. Unfortunately, Fabius bugged out and was stuck. Since Fabius couldn't go to the monster, I made the monster go to him, which made him unstuck. A little after Fabius got unstuck, Blanganga met his end. Now it's time for the final monster, Arkveld. Arkveld is also extremely scary, as it has the second most amount of HP in the story, sitting at 21,000 HP, and unlike with Jin, there are a lot less environmentals in the Windward Plains. Also, there are no other monsters in this quest to damage him, so in order to take out Arkveld, I had to utilize everything. If I saw slinger ammo, I immediately picked it up and shot it all. If he leaves the zone, I restock and then I use all my barrel bombs and poison him again. I lured him to all the environmental hazards in the map. I made him go into the thorn bushes that do 31 damage a tick, which is insane by the way. After repeatedly doing all of this over and over again, I started to throw knives at him and... Nice, let's go. Monster Hunter Wilds. No weapon run complete. Every monster slain without hitting it with my weapon. Not bad at all. And an Arkveld gem on top. With Arkveld gone, the Forbidden Lands was saved. Our lad was finally able to relax and drink some wyvern milk tea. Anyways, that's about it. Thanks for watching, everyone.